I've been waiting for it. They've been releasing everything else. Like boring panel, boring.
It was supposed to come out Sunday. We were there, wasn't
Well,
it?
they were supposed. Yeah, it was supposed to come out Sunday on DragonCon TV when we were there, and then it turned out to be Monday. Like nobody watches anything on Monday. They all leave.
Right.
How are they going to get it done on Monday? I mean, it wasn't that long before the parade started that they did it. They weren't doing it live.
Well, they got some people editing in the background.
They had it. Yeah, they had to edit the clip, and it was supposed to be on the next late show, which is at 9 a.m. So they had about 24 hours to turn it around, but looks like they kind of shuffled it and went, well, we'll do it Monday's late show. That's fine. It's out. And now everybody knows how we dress up funny.
Actually,
before.
Actually, on my team, they said they asked for pictures. What did you do this summer? And that was one of the pictures. Is our group shot.
Yep. Don't get better than that.
We'll never ask you again, but thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Actually, my boss's boss actually called it and says, "Oh, here's one of my favorites," and he highlighted it by itself. I was like, "Oh."
Our team does that too, and they said, "How was your summer?" And they did this like at the beginning of August. I mean, my summer's not over. I haven't made it to Iceland, and we did go to DragonCon. I'm just getting started.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I was an idiot. I didn't. I forgot to post some of the concert pictures Kim and I went to. Like, I should have sent some of those in.
Okay. Well,
I posted pictures with my family for my dad's birthday.
Hello to our viewers out there.
Oh, we have somebody.
Well, viewer. You used a plural. It's not plural yet.
Maybe they have a split personality. I don't know.
Hello, listener Diane.
We have one viewers.
Someone didn't do the conditional statement where you append the S only if value is greater than 1.
Yeah,
that's a programmer joke, people.
All righty. The coding humor is just too much for one show.
Oh, so I'm going to share this on social medias. Oh, that's a nice expression on my face. Like, you guys, what an insufferable picture.
Oh, I think it actually changes a little bit because sometimes it's not the same. you
Mine
look
is
mad.
like, look what I have to put up with every week.
I'm not starting on time. I gotta share too.
All right. Cross-posted, socialized. See if we can. Oh, we lost our listener.
He made fun of them. I was being
like
nice.
It's like that college class you walk into and go, "Oh, we're on class."
Yeah.
I'm out of here before I have that nightmare when I fail at the end of the semester. And my secondary monitor just went out. Hold on. That's where I read my show notes. I swear, I got to swap this monitor out for another one. This is just, it glitches on me. Hold on.
Technical difficulties. We need a little slide for that.
This is the oldest and worst monitor, and I don't know why.
We need that.
There we go.
What we need to do is that overlay with the Indian picture that they put on TV.
Right.
You know, when the test.
Oh, yes. Okay. I think we are ready. You ready?
Okay.
I got the audio clips up. Let's make sure we can hear these. Do you hear that, or is that too low?
I got it. I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, good. Well, then start talking.
Well, I need my countdown or I can't do anything.
It's the final countdown.
No, but
all right.
We can't afford the rights now.
5, 4, 3, 2.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 146 for Friday, September 28th, 2023. Coming up in this episode, writers be writing again. Orions aren't all pirates. Orions aren't all pirates. One of the new very short treks is a thing. All that and more right now on The Topic is Trek. 47 Shades of Green. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. I am Clinton, one of your co-hosts, and as I always say, in order to be a co-host, I have to have other hosts. So first, beaming in to join me from parts unknown with the hip new catchphrase you'll be tick-tocking about tomorrow, it's Mr. Craig Stepp. Oh, shimmery.
A diamond is forever.
I think we could get in real trouble for that one. So I don't.
Is that taken?
Very
Is that already
powerful, very powerful lobby there. So yeah, we gotta give it another try next time. But
Next time, okay.
I think last week you were closer. So whatever you did last week, more of that.
And you really want more of that? Be careful what you ask for.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. And also beaming in to join us is Mr. Chuck Tomasi.
Why am I wearing this itchy hair hat?
I have no answer to these questions. I'm sorry. Well, how are you gentlemen doing this fine Thursday evening? Friday, whenever people are listening to this.
Wonderful.
I'm always doing good. So I'm actually in sync with everybody that's listening. I'm always good.
We can't afford the rights to their music either.
No, maybe Backstreet Boys. We'll talk later. But and I hear 98 Degrees is back, so we got that going for us too.
Oh, tell me why.
Well, before we get started with our regular news, I wanted to point out that last episode we talked about that restored Star Trek the animated series PSA that is on our
it's
gotten over 3,000 views already. So
all right.
Are you kidding me?
That's our version of viral.
Yeah. So pretty cool indeed.
We have low expectations.
And some nice feedback on that one. So I do have to get work on that other one that I
actually for us 2 or 3 views is viral.
That's right.
Whoa, guys, it's on fire. We got
it's like our show is vaccinated. And it's like, well, how do you go viral? You're vaccinated. I don't know.
We're in quarantine at this point.
It really needs to get to 4 because there's 3 of us, so we would all see it. And then there was
you watch this?
All right, so we have a lot of Trek to talk about. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about our first main mission, our first episode of Lower Decks. Then we're going to go to Subspace Chatter, see what's up there with a couple of articles, then come back. And we've got 3 more main missions after that.
Wow, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle is at effect tonight.
Yeah, the compensators are compensating. All right, so let's start up with our first main mission, part 1. And Chuck, you want to give us some statistics here?
Don't I get a sound effect?
Sure.
3 happy buttons. So our first mission is from Star Trek Lower Decks. The title is Something Borrowed, Something Green, Season 4, Episode 4. Written by Grace Parajani. I almost said Janeway because my glasses are going.
Yeah.
And directed by Bob Suarez. The short synopsis is Tendi is summoned back to Orion for a wedding, while Rutherford and Boimler argue over plant care.
That's the best way I could phrase it.
Yeah.
I don't know what was up with them, but yeah, so we've got kind of 3 plots going on here, right?
Yeah.
We've got Tendi's plot, we've got Rutherford and Boimler's plot, and then kind of late in the game,
the Chalnoth.
Yeah, that it's come out of left field. That's a thing that's happening. So what do you want to concentrate on first?
Tendi. We'll go with Tendi.
Yeah, Tendi.
All right. So she's summoned to this wedding as was mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't really want to go.
No, this is a reluctant thing. But since it's for Starfleet, well, okay. Because at the very beginning, before the credits, they had that mystery ship blowing up an Orion ship this time.
Yes.
So that
Right.
was interesting. Hey, I gotta ask you, has anybody mentioned or noticed the koala in the cloud when they're flying around and doing
Yes.
the Delta Shield?
Yes, I have.
I just noticed that on episode 4, so I don't know how long it's
Oh,
been there. Nobody's ever said anything to me about, "Look at the bear!" I'm like, "Oh,
it's actually
no."
been there for a little while, but
You only see the koala if there's an impending doom. So
Doom!
hmm.
yeah, this Orion ship got doomed just like all our other ships. Basically the same scenario. The little conversation among the lower deckers. Then there's
Yeah,
a crisis. They come to the bridge.
there's
The
the
ship
ship,
is there. All their
systems go
weapon
out,
systems go down, and
boom, they're gone. So,
Yeah.
I have a sneaky suspicion we are not going to resolve this by the end of the season. It's going to
ooh,
be the season 5 carrier.
is
I
do
think
you
they
have
have to kind of resolve that because they've been teasing it all this whole season.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna get to the end, and it'll be like the Cerritos versus the crazy ship.
Or it'll lead into a cliffhanger.
Right. Right.
don't need
That's what I'm
any
saying.
more cliffhangers. We already got one hanging out there that's going to take a long time to resolve. We don't need any more.
Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So back to Tendi and her reluctance to go to the wedding. Her sister's getting married, and Mariner and T'Lyn want to go with her.
Yeah.
And it's a triple
They're
threat.
ultra
Well,
excited to go. Well, one of them is.
Yeah, T'Lyn is not thrilled.
she wants to go to observe because, as we
Yeah.
all know, there's not much known about Orion culture. And
And
again,
that's
Tendi's
true.
a
That's true in Star Trek itself. There's not much known about Orion culture.
Right. So we're getting a very good insight. I mean, they are setting some canon in a crazy way on this show.
Absolutely.
You know
a
what?
lot of
It's funny you said that about not knowing much about the Orions because the fan series Star Trek Continues had a great episode with the Orions, and Lou Ferrigno was one, which was
He's already green.
I was like, yeah, he has the experience to handle that. So I was just the reason I bring it up is because I just saw an article explaining how too bad that series isn't canon because they actually gave a little bit I started to say more color, but
Wow, you're starting to sound racist here. Craig.
No, don't even suggest that,
I'm
please.
saying it in jest. Everybody knows.
I know, but I thought it was a really good episode. So if you get a chance, go check that one out. If you like the Orions, that's a good one.
You did bring up something though that I didn't want to let slip by because the title of our episode, 47 Shades of Green, has many
Right.
meanings for various reasons. But while I was watching the episode, I was taking note of the fact that when they show Orion's on lower decks, there are all shades of green.
Different
They
hues
are.
and different tones. Yes, I thought that was brilliant.
I remember when Mariner was I started to say painted green, but not really painted green, made green by Tendi the first time.
Yep.
That guy was like, "Hey, where's she from?" You know, because she was different shade, and then she turned brown. That's another part of the story. But we saw different shades of green in that one too, because that one had a lot of Orions in it.
But it struck me in this one because you've got this scene that kind of happens about halfway through where they're in this pheromone bizarre
dance strip club kind of thing.
Yeah,
I call it the second stabbing scene.
But yes, exactly. But
Right.
just that one shot, you see like 5 different colors of green going on there.
There's like a light green, a teal, a bright
Lime.
green, a pea soup green. Yeah, it's
Lime green, like you are, Chuck. Look at your video.
That's right.
That's my background.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating Orion month.
That's Orion month.
Didn't know that was a thing, but there you go.
See, you don't know much about these Orions.
That's right. It's not.
I don't even know what month they celebrate.
It's not even on my Star Trek calendar. How would I even know that?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, we get to find out, and we're thinking it, and I think it's Mariner the one that says it because she says, "Wow, you grew up in a castle just like Billups." think, okay, you got royalty and these high echelon people just kind of hanging out in the Cerritos.
I got
the
to back
lower
up
deckers
to
have
I got to back up to when before they got the announcement and Tendi was working away. She finished her task. She goes, and up next is nothing. Wait, I can't be done. And T'Lyn says, celebrating a lack of purpose is illogical.
right.
There were some great lines. I wrote down many of them in this show. Like, pause, gotta write that down.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, so she is the prime, which we don't really know what the prime means at that point, but I think we all had our guess kind of what that would mean.
Firstborn child, heir to the whatever house of whatever. Yeah, that's kind of how I implied it. And even Mariner says, I don't know, but sounds really cool.
Yeah, that's right.
It does indeed.
The what was their parents' name? Shona and Bert. The apostrophe RT is how the closed captioning had it.
Bert,
right? Because you got
extra letters in there.
Erica and Devana. They like their apostrophes.
Yes, they do.
They also like their sedan chairs.
That's right. The name of the nightclub was the Slit Throat nightclub.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the first one they went into.
It is.
When Mariner got stabbed and she takes it out and puts it in a jar full of other bloody knives.
Like it's just a thing that happens all the time.
I thought that was great.
I know. I had to back it up because did she just stick it in a jar?
And then she gets stabbed again. She goes, what are the odds?
And then gets stabbed the third time.
On the abandoned ship. And there is a fourth time that's not seen because they were going over pictures at the end. And this is the time I got stabbed during the daddy-daughter dagger dance.
Yeah.
Like a daddy-daughter dagger dance. That's just something I want to see.
Hard enough to say, let alone hard enough to do.
I was struggling myself to dance. Okay, where were we? Oh, we
were on Orion, and we find out that Tendi's sister has been kidnapped, and she's blowing it off, going, "Oh, this is a very traditional thing," and her mother says that no, that usually happens. It only happens after the save the dates go out and before the invitations. So it's a very specific time in which you get kidnapped as part of the process.
Yeah,
that was not it.
Yep.
But she's still not really buying it that this isn't just,
No, but she's honor bound to follow the clues. So she goes to this first club and finds out that her sister was involved with, what was his name? I didn't write it down.
His name is Niall.
Nyala. Yeah. And he's at the second club, but in the first club, they're trying to get some leads, and Mariner gets stabbed, pulls it up, puts it in the bloody jar, or the jar of bloody knives, which is just one of those touches that I absolutely love about this show.
And they play a game with the world's stupidest bug or creature, whatever.
Oh, the murder bug drinking game.
Yeah, it's just like the bug will go to that hand and then up, go to the other hand, up, go back to the first hand, up.
You have to drink and put your cup down so that the shield comes up so the bug is thwarted. And at one point, her quote unquote friend doesn't drink enough or doesn't put the cup down right, and there's no shield and almost gets bit. But then Tendi saves her, and they make their way and part ways to go to the second place with what was the rich lady's name? Well, they find Nyala, and he says, well, I was involved and I looked at her from afar, but we didn't really have a thing. We parted our separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't really involved with the kidnapping, and we weren't really left with much after that.
Right, because kind of come to a dead end, except that he says that he saw her hanging out in the old ship graveyard.
The ship graveyard. So that's why they headed that way. Gotcha. And Tendi says, so many memories here of me and Erica, my sister, hanging out. In fact, this is where I told her I was going to join Starfleet. And
but she also, I like how she confesses that she actually grew up being trained to be, this assassin. And Mariner and T'Lyn go, yeah, that was pretty obvious. It's not a secret. We kind of knew. We kind of
Right.
guessed that.
Well, Mariner had such little information that even in the opening scene when, Captain comes in and says, "Hey, you've been summoned to your planet for your sister's wedding." She goes, "Wow, that's more backstory than I've gotten from you so far."
Right.
And it was like 2 new clues.
Although
So
that's
now
kind of a bizarre thing because Mariner didn't even remember Tendy's first name when she, said it like it was like 7 or 8 episodes into season 1. Like she wasn't paying any attention at all.
right.
That's your
Okay,
first
so
name? I told you already.
Yeah.
They're on this abandoned ship. They're reminiscing about how, Tendi and her sister used to come here. There was even like a chalk drawing on the wall of when they were kids. And
Yeah.
her sister comes out of nowhere with a little bit of, vendetta angst on her shoulder, a chip on her shoulder about you left me, you abandoned me, throws a knife at Tendi, bounces off the wall, and hits Mariner, who's hiding behind a
Yep.
console.
To avoid such a problem.
Yeah, she
In
says,
the same
"I'm just gonna
spot.
hide over here," and then doink, boink, and it hits her in the shoulder again.
Yeah. So you
Same
got hit in the
place,
same spot again. Yeah.
3 times now. And, so there's a battle scene that ensues where Tendi is fighting her sister. "I didn't want this. You left. You piled this all on me. I never asked for it." And then Tendi finally, gets knocked to the floor unarmed and says, I'm sorry. I should have asked you first." And because her sister's saying, "I could never be, the prime like that you are. Everybody's going to know when I get married. They're going to see right through me." But Tendi says, "You don't need to worry about that. You just kicked my butt. If I'm the best there is, then you're better." And everybody's
Yeah.
talking her up like, you truly are a warrior princess, blah, 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 blah. So she goes, "Oh, really?" And even T'Lyn made some comment to that. I also have observed,
I was
some
intimidated by you type of
yeah. So her ego's boost, and she says, "Oh, well, we better get out of here. There's only 2 hours till the ceremony." So they said, "We're not going to make it." But Tendi says, "I have hot wire." What did she say? I've rerouted a few EPS
EPS
conduits
conduits.
today."
Yes.
Yeah.
So she ducks
Yes, it
under.
says, "Who wants to help me steal a starship?" And T'Lyn goes,
T'Lyn
"I do
says,
not."
"I do not."
Yeah.
And Werner's like, "You go, 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 go." Yes, you do. So I love that because they practically talked at the same time. It was like, "I do not." "Yeah, yes, you do."
You love Italian.
Yeah.
The
Right.
one shot that we're missing in there though, when they hover the ship, is they didn't have a shot where the ship disappears and then comes up, over the tree line. Because
No, it
yeah.
pretty much flashed.
Yeah. It's the duck and
No.
attack kind of thing. Yeah.
that's right. You got to have that shot in there.
It went down in flames, but yet 5 seconds later, they walk in the gates just in time for the wedding.
Yep.
And
Of course.
everybody's happy. So that
Everybody's
was
happy.
a nice ending to that storyline.
Right. So we got a look at the planet. I don't know if we've ever been to the planet Orion before. So I guess
I don't think so.
that's a first as well.
They didn't do that in Enterprise, did they? No,
They
that
didn't
was
do it in Discovery.
when they went to
They didn't do it in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, in Enterprise. I don't
Enterprise,
think it was.
they had
They went to that planet looking for some of their
I
crew
don't think that
members.
was Orion though. I think
Maybe
that was
not.
like a not a station, but some other planet where they had
Yeah,
a
I think
outpost
you're right.
type of thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was trying to, because there was a lot of green people there. That's why I was trying to remember if that was Orion or not.
And that's when we first learned that, well, the women are actually in charge. The guys aren't in charge.
Yes.
In Orion.
The guys are slave to the moans.
It's just another stereotype, Chuck. Have you learned nothing from Tendi about this? Even though it's like she has to keep apologizing because everything so far has been true, down to the fact that she was trained as an assassin. It's like
not everybody can control the males with their hormones. Well, okay, some of us can, but not everybody. She admitted she can.
All right, let's get back to Bonsai Tree.
You mean Rutherford?
Rutherford.
They're getting along really well at first, and then it comes to Misty.
No, I want to feed it. No, I want to feed it.
Yeah, I have an algorithm. Well, I grew up on a vineyard, so I have a green thumb. I know a little bit more than algorithms do. And then they get told that, "Oh, it's time for your holodeck time. Let's let's go have some recreation and maybe we'll settle this and figure it out later.
Grumble,
Yeah.
grumble, 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 grumble.
So they go to the holodeck and they're both dressed as Mark Twain.
Oh my gosh.
On a riverboat, throwing out
I
these
say, you can't be dressed like that.
other euphemisms. It's really cheesy, but really funny.
I could listen to them go back and forth
Indeed.
for quite a while. That was hilarious.
I don't know if any of the
So
stuff
that
that was
dog
throwing back and
won't
forth
hunt.
were actual Twain quotes, because some of them sounded like they must be.
I think so.
Making some comments about like Congress or something like
like-
that. And
Like we threw out that dog won't hunt.
Right.
the little boy that comes up to me so confused because there's two Mark Twains. It's like the program doesn't know what to do.
And then Boimler breaks character and he says, well, we really do get along. And everything. Oh, and the kid goes, ahem. And which says, a house divided in twain shall not stand.
Quite pithy, quite pithy.
That was
So
funny.
they work out their differences.
And clearly this is the way to solve all disputes. Clearly.
Yeah.
Dress up and talk like Mark Twain to each other. Why not?
What could go wrong?
But it comes in handy because we get to our third plot line of the
That's
captain
not him.
is talking to another ship. He's talking to a
Mhm.
Chalnoth
Yeah.
who won't let them scan. Yeah. He's very grouchy. And
I love the fact that he doesn't trust the Starfleet scans because the data is too nuanced and thorough.
right
Yeah.
now, we haven't seen a Chalnoth since TNG when Picard was spirited away and put in the that room with the four other people, and they all had to try and figure their way out of that room. And then
Oh, yeah.
the
The escape room.
there was a
They visited
yeah,
an
no.
escape room.
They had to go Alma Rain. No,
no, not Lemon Meringue.
Not that one.
No, but anyway, they did a wonderful. I love the callbacks that the show keeps making to prior Star Trek. That's why if you're not a fan, you're gonna love the show. But if you are a fan, you're gonna absolutely love this show because of all the depth.
I was
they go
thinking
through.
about. Yeah, I was reflecting on some of the. I'd just finished watching the next one, and I remember walking off thinking, I'm still getting the jokes, in my head.
The writers must be going, we need a species in here that we haven't talked about in over 30 years. Reach into the grab bag and pull out a name.
Yeah.
There's plenty in there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I used to
Orion.
name-
Look, I got Orions.
I used to name my servers after these people.
Yeah.
There's
That's
so
right.
many of them. So they can't resolve their dispute, but Boimler and Rutherford appear on the bridge and go, I think we may have an idea how you can. To which they cut to a scene where Captain Freeman and the Chalnoth are dressed up as Mark Twain, and he says that line that I said at the top of the why am I wearing this itchy hair hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And neither of them get why they're doing this.
No. And Freeman's trying to get into it. No, you got to use the accent.
That was the accent.
I say, yeah, he says, he goes,
I'm Southern.
"Rah!" Now see that with a Southern, I'm from Southern Chalnoth. That
Yeah.
was a Southern accent.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we learned
man.
we learned a fun fact that they love bonsai trees.
Yeah. So, Freeman says, how did you expect this to work? Well, it worked for us because we were trying to figure out who got to water the bonsai. What is this bonsai? And that was a little predictable. As soon as I saw him with the tree, he's going to eat it. He's going to eat it.
No,
And
yeah.
he ate it. Now I
Yeah.
need to wash down with some mist. Oh,
Yeah. Right.
and Rutherford and Boimler said, little bony.
Yeah.
Okay, a little twig.
We can rebuild it. We can make it better.
Oh, and another great line as Boimler and Rutherford are leaving the holodeck for the first time to get someone to the bridge. Rutherford says, why are vests so complicated?
Yeah.
And then at the end, they say, well, let's go have some more of this resolution. And we were just discussing whether we should hang a picture of the Enterprise D in watercolor or in oil.
Well, you guys
go
can
to-
just like talk it out, right? Oh yeah,
No, we're going to the holodeck. They dress
Yeah.
up as Mozart. And they're playing these harpsichords. And Rutherford says, closing line, dang, this thing is really hard to play.
As they kind of bang away on the keys.
Boimler didn't seem to be having much problem, but you could clearly hear someone
You should have got the player one, just like Boimler did.
Oh yeah.
Don't have to touch
just
anything.
pedals.
That's
Just plug it in.
Whew, so there was a lot happening there. And we got one message at the end about the mystery ship that blows things up. No, I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's at the end of the next episode.
Yep.
That's at the end of
Jumping
the
on that. No, this time we just saw
one clue per show.
damage.
Right.
Yeah, although we had, what was it, like 2 weeks ago? There was like no reference, I think, at all to it.
I was actually at first I thought, wait, I don't think we saw anything about that ship anymore. I said, I hope they don't drop it. Just
that would be weird if they just like never mind. If we were gonna do that, we decided not to.
It'd be like that conspiracy. It'd be like that conspiracy thing on TNG with the worms. Or yeah.
We shall not never talk of this again. You know.
Yeah. Okay, is that a banned subject on this show?
like Zoidberg on the other show. Let us rarely talk of this ever again.
Yes, right. Yeah.
All right, so it's time to rate.
What are we rating on?
Bonsai trees.
Bonsai trees. Okay. All right, 1 to 10 bonsai trees.
How we plan way ahead on this.
Yeah, it's totally scripted.
Yeah.
All right. I'll start with Craig for this one.
All right. I'm a sucker for all these jokes that they had. I mean, it was just so funny. Mark Twain stuff, all the way down. This thing was great. I'm giving it a 9.
Okay.
I think they're firing on all cylinders here.
All right. Very good. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think that I agree with a lot of it. I felt like, as Chuck said, a couple of things were predictable in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still definitely enjoyed it an awful lot. And so, 8.5 for me. And what about you, Chuck?
I'm going 8.5 also. Like I said, there were a couple of predictable parts. I thought the Chalna thing felt like it came in late. Like the writers had something going and they went, we got to dovetail something in there to make Rutherford and Boimler's thing work out.
Right.
It just felt a little, not contrived, but a little late. Maybe it should have been brought in a little bit earlier.
Yeah, because they were summoned to the bridge.
Right.
To what's the argument? It's like, why would they summon to the bridge, like that? So.
Yeah. And I did enjoy the deeper look into the Orion culture.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
T'Lyn does lie, though, as they're flying back on that broken down ship. She says, "Oh darn!" Words to the effect, "Oh darn!" I've lost my report, and throws it out the door.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a Vulcan lie. You just lied. Yeah. And then she justifies it by saying to do a report without the person's consent.
Unethical. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, she could say. I mean, she could have done that part without the other part, though. But the other part was more dramatic.
Actually, to be honest with you, when she did that, I thought, okay, for a Vulcan, at that point, I know in the next episode it changes a little bit, but at that point I thought, oh, she's actually warming up to the crew. She's starting to fit in. And she went, oh, yeah, I just happened to lose it. And I was like, oh, she's starting to fit in. So I don't know.
8.5 bonsais.
Okay.
Oh, good. My favorite part. We get to talk to Charlie again.
We do, because now it's time, with the permission of Mr. Charlie X, for Subspace Chatter. So, Charlie, are we all set for Subspace Chatter?
Is this Charlie X, formerly known as Twitter?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need all that subspace chatter.
No wonder he doesn't have any followers.
Hey, speaking of predictable.
Well said, my friend.
Charlie's giving you the stare. I don't know.
I didn't mean it, Charlie. I didn't mean it. I promise.
You're going to the corner.
Here, I got something I want you to meet, Charlie.
Oopsie. Yeah, I don't think we want Charlie and Moopsie together. That's not a good thing. All right, so Chuck, you're up first.
All right. The impending end of the Writers Guild of America strike means that authors can dust off their copies of Final Draft and get to work on Star Trek scripts. Hooray!
Yay!
But don't expect to see new live-action episodes of Strange New Worlds or Starfleet Academy anytime soon. Remember that the actors are still on strike. That means productions will probably not go before the cameras until 2024. Given the long lead time, due to the effect-heavy episodes, they are effects-heavy, remember, we anticipate it will be 2025 before new live-action Trek episodes show up on Paramount+. Oh, what are we going to cover on this show?
I don't know, because the topic is Trek, so
Paperback
Enterprise.
books
Let's go
and
back to
more
Enterprise.
Enterprise. We've got lots of back shows. We could go through all of TNG.
we could go through.
Hey, I've got and we got novels to review.
Right.
That's
There's
right.
only so many paperbacks we have.
Hey,
But
by the
if-
way, there's
yes.
still an actor strike.
Right, that's
That's what
the,
we said. Were
that's
you
what we
not
said.
listening when I read? Or were you trying to multitask with Moopsy?
No, never mind.
multitasking with Moopsy.
I
Now
don't
the
listen
point
to
is,
you.
well, that's well known, but yeah, the point being that everybody's all excited. Yay, the writer's strike is over. Yeah, but you can write the stuff, but you can't have it on screen until you get the actors taken care of. So we will see what happens. Hopefully, with that strike settled, and a lot of the issues that were brought up by the writers are the same types of things that the actors
Right.
are
Yeah.
striking about, that maybe become to be a quicker resolution. Fingers crossed on that anyway.
That's
All
what I
right.
was reading as well.
Your turn, Clinton.
All right, next. There's nothing official here, but the 4th Star Trek movie in the current reboot series, I tried to work around instead of saying Star Trek 4, which is very confusing,
Yeah.
is apparently still being worked on.
Still.
Yeah, writer-director Lindsay Anderson Beer, who we don't even have in our notes about the long list of would-be Star Trek 4 directors. I mean, I've lost track. Where did this person come from? Says that it is still on track, although no timeline is in place and there is no official announcement from Paramount. So you've got this potential writer-director maybe saying, "Oh yeah, it's the thing." It's okay.
This sounds like internet bait to me.
We've just been down this road so many times.
Just give us the movie already.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
All right. What about you, Craig?
All right. Well, Paramount Home Entertainment is releasing a massive box set, the Star Trek, the Picard Legacy Collection, which includes all 7 seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation, 3 seasons of Star Trek Picard, and 4 theatrical movies featuring Picard and the Next Generation cast. The box set also includes over 35 hours of special features, an updated version of the Wisdom of Picard book. I'm not familiar with that book. And various collectibles like playing cards, coasters. Oh, I was just needing some coasters.
Well, there you go.
And magnets reflecting Picard's comm badges. The set comes out on November 7th. Looking at Amazon, the current price for the Blu-ray set is $244.99. And current pre-order price is...
Exactly, Eric's.
Yeah, but hold on, Eric's. The current pre-order price is $199.95.
Can't beat that. I get, well, that is a lot, right? Because that's a lot of stuff. You've got 7 seasons of The Next Generation. You've got 3 seasons of Picard, and you've got 4 movies plus all this other stuff. And this is the one that's the Blu-ray one, for $199.95.
Well, hang on a second. They didn't have money in the future, so why are we paying money for?
You have that discussion with Amazon and see how that works out. And you let us know.
Oh wait, the Writers Guild just called.
The other writers, the book writers.
Yeah.
Did we mention Patrick Stewart's autobiography or memoir yet?
I don't believe so.
Is that this week's news? I couldn't remember if we mentioned on the last show or not, so I wanted to double check. So Patrick Stewart has a new memoir called "Making It So," a memoir available on Amazon also. So if you just look for
It's
Patrick,
not reflective. He's not showing you how to do a hymn or anything.
No.
Making it so.
it's more embroidery.
Well, I look forward to reading the chapter about his work as my announcer. So that will be fun to to check out.
Yeah, his memoir, Making It So, and it has patterns for all the TNG uniforms, and you make it yourself.
This up, Charlie.
Exactly, Sir Patrick. All right. Chuck, you've got another story here.
I got one more. Finally, a friend of the show, Dr. Aaron McDonald, gave a talk last month at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, titled From Warp Drives to Tachyons, Physics in Star Trek. The lecture addressed the symbiotic relationship between Star Trek and real-life space exploration and scientific discovery. I'm not being cruel here, but is her talking about Star Trek and physics a little self-gratification? That's her job, right?
Well,
No.
Making sure they work together.
But I think that's why she was giving the talk.
Yeah,
That's her
You're
job.
the resident expert. You figured it out.
it is her job. Yeah.
Right. I'm just kidding, of course.
Okay. And we'll never get Dr. Aaron back again because of Chuck.
She
Thank you.
doesn't listen to this.
He's scratching us off the list of.
She doesn't listen to this. She'll do a Google search and maybe hit our show notes, but that's about it. She won't hear my comments.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to her. Say, look
Yeah.
at Chuck said.
Yeah. And you know
I'll
what?
make sure she sees it.
I can say she called me. You can't.
Yeah. Right.
And in Vulcan, Alberta, Canada news. Okay, this one is Vulcan, Alberta, Canada adjacent. That's the best we got
adjacent.
right
One?
now.
British Columbia, where are we going?
Okay, so this one is a new John Tenuto and Mary Jose Tenuto, authors of the new Star Trek. Now, this is the name of the book. Ready?
Okay.
The name of the book is Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the making of the classic film, the book. That is the name of that.
Wow.
Anyway,
rolls right off the tongue.
they were once asked to speak about Star Trek by Vulcan, Alberta, Canada, and they showed up. Not like Conan, who never shows up. And okay, I'm not gonna go off.
Let it go, Clinton.
Yeah. And by the way, according to Titan Publishing, the Star Trek II book, whose name I will not go through again, is full to the brim with rare and previously unpublished archival material, behind the scenes photography, production art, cutscenes, script extracts, and much more, alongside new and exclusive interviews with the creatives, including director Nicholas Meyer. So there is that.
Now, wait, where's this click go? Oh, to Gizmodo. I was hoping it went to Amazon so I could find this book.
No, there's no room on Amazon to list the entire name of the book. So
yeah, they have a character limit on the title.
Your book is allowed 40 characters or less. Sorry.
Yeah, please rename. Yeah.
And we have an additional 49 stories that we didn't have a chance to get to because we have so much Star Trek to talk about. We can't talk about Star Trek in this episode. It's very confusing.
The book is listed on Amazon as Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And you'll find stories about everything from the original series all the way down to very short treks and lower decks, plus things about DVDs coming out, video games, comics, all sorts of things there. So check those out over in the show notes for episode 146 over at thetopicistrek.com.
We went to 47 and then gave you more.
But now it's time for my favorite part of the show when I get to say goodbye, Charlie.
Want to stay.
No. If your attitude was better, maybe we let you stay.
That's it.
He's gone now, Craig. Now you can egg him on.
Yeah,
That's
stupid
right.
kid.
Can't stare at you anymore.
Yeah.
Teenagers.
I'll take you in the gym and flip you.
Okay, let's move on to main mission part 2 with an appropriate sound effect to get out of that as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
What a segue.
Wait. Oh, it's a slow transporter. Enough of that.
Okay.
Main mission part 2.
Main mission part 2. This is where we talk about Star Trek Lower Decks, empathological fallacies.
You did very well with that.
Thank you. Written by Jamie Loftus and directed by Megan Lloyd. And short plot synopsis here is the hedonistic outlook of a Betazoid delegation appears to have infected the crew.
Complete with the yard
The yard glasses, yeah.
glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, which
They-
I didn't
well,
know
what's
those
funny-
were a thing.
What's
on,
funny is they were plastic.
Yes,
You
you
know-
can hear when one hit the floor. It was plastic. I
Clunk,
love
clunk.
that. These things looked like they were right out of Vegas, and they were going from Angel One
to Ryza.
to Ryza. Like nothing wrong with that trip.
Off to Wrigley's Pleasure Planet after that. Woo-ha! Yeah, they never really said what kind of diplomat they were, and that they had, and it was kind of strange because you find out that all outgoing communications are
Was-
blocked, and that was also strange. It's like because you have 3 Betazoid delegates on board.
weren't they supposed to be like influencers?
Oh, on YouTube maybe. I don't know.
If there's social media or whatever.
So it was stopping them from posting.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Because I couldn't figure out why everything was just locked down because you had these 3 people on board. But I don't know. It was a bigger problem for T'Lyn because she was trying to get off the ship.
Right. She's sending a report. Like logically, it would make sense to send me back home because of blah 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 blah. But she couldn't send that message because they were blocked out from communications. And as she's trying to send this, and I love the still frame on Paramount Plus because it's got Mariner like sticking her head in the door sideways, like, "Hey, T'Lyn, you want to go hang out in 10 forward with us?" T'Lyn didn't want anything to do with it, but she went anyway, and get there. And
Well, she went to find out how long it was going to be until communications
oh, right,
were open
right.
again.
Well, as Captain Freeman was giving a tour of the ship, they stopped off in sick bay.
Yes, an interesting point made here.
More canon that we didn't know. Cation
Wow.
used to eat beta Zeds, but now they
Yeah.
only eat synthetic beta Zeds.
I like how she was cutting up with him too. Oh, we're just joking.
Look
know,
at her
you
lips
look
the entire
tasty.
time.
Yeah,
If
you look
watch
tasty.
closely, if you watch closely when they first walk in, there's an assistant in sick bay wearing a visor.
Ah.
Oh, that was
Oh.
it was only there for like a second and then went off screen right.
I think I've seen one before.
Oh,
Somebody
that's
else-
right. We did. Yeah. I
yeah.
think this one in the.
I
think this
thought
one in
the visor was specific to Geordi. I thought that was like a custom thing only he needed.
No, because we also had somebody in Discovery had a visor as well, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm down on my visor knowledge then.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so the first
Geordi's
storyline
got a
is-
franchise on those things now.
That's right. He's making a
What?
buck up.
there's a couple of storylines going on. The first one is these 3 ambassadors, were they?
Diplomat.
Diplomats of some
They
thing.
came aboard and things start suddenly going awry, and the crew thinks that it might be what's the xanthe fever, which
Yeah.
is what Loxana had, and they start projecting and affecting people around them with powerful emotions.
Because
you
we certainly have a lot of that going on. I've got a image here of Megly Moo phasering the replicator because didn't like the food it gave him.
Yeah. He was
and
going
Ransom
going off
is-
on that thing.
Crying, and as the show goes on, you got people partying in their underwear, and just it was going from crazy to crazier, and they couldn't figure it out, and they thought it was these 3 ladies, and they're they're going back and forth with their thoughts, like stick to the plan, like, oh, they're up to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was kind of confusing. It's like, what plan do they have? Are they not actually who they claim to be? I mean, like, were they
Right.
not even
Right.
Betazoids?
I expected them to like rip off the rubber mask and be
Mhm.
Romulans or something. It was very, very bizarre when they were talking amongst themselves.
But they're taken to sick bay and everything seems to check out just fine. There's no problem.
But,
But,
Freeman won't let them go.
Yeah, she's getting a bit crazy about this whole thing. And then they start to crack their veneer about what's going on. And suddenly they turn into these like ninja warriors.
Yeah, they rip off the skirts and they're wearing more combative garb, and pretty much knock out everybody on the bridge. Freeman is in handcuffs, so it's
but she was right. She was right. That's what that's important to her. Is like, I am a good captain.
She's a little stir crazy, a little crazy about it. I might, but manages to hit the red alert button, which alerts the security people who earlier had
well, that's a secondary plot.
We get to the secondary plot.
But first, before we kind of intertwine those, they get to the bridge, and apparently we get to see why you need security, because they're outnumbered. The three Betazoid spies or agents are outnumbered, but they take everybody out in short order.
Right.
Just, and take over the ship and decide that the best way to get where they need to go
is through the neutral zone, the Romulan neutral zone.
Because that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's
convenient. Yeah.
Which we never knew that's how the shortest way to get to Betazed.
Or wherever they were going. I think they said they were going back though to regroup or something.
That's true. We've never really seen a map of where's Risa, where's Angel 1, and where's Betazed, and where's the neutral zone.
I'm sure it exists.
Oh, there's lots of maps out there. I can find you a dozen. So
Star Trek map. There's a bunch of them right there. And Google
Larry Nemechek did a whole thing about this.
Do they have those specific planets though?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, well, wonderful.
So we'll check. We'll check that out for next time. See what's happening there.
Because that's not in our nature to say they're wrong.
I can't get this to pull up on Google Maps.
Google Maps.
Google Maps.
It's got turn-by-turn instructions.
Yeah.
It zooms you all the way out when you first started up, though, so it's a real pain. It's like, good, the entire Milky Way. Okay, great. All right.
I got to zoom in 300 times.
Lots of expanding to make that happen.
Oh, I'm into the Delta Quadrant. I got to scroll over.
That's right.
Anyway, so plot story 2 with Boimler.
So Boimler is trying to memorize the name of every single crew member on the ship, and because he wants to be a good lieutenant junior grade, I guess, and that's what a lieutenant.
Hey, you got to have goals, man.
You never know who you're going to meet in the corridor.
I guess, but that's what "Hey You" is all about. That's what you do. That's why you do that.
And what were the names? He had like 3 of the same species, and it was, like.
Oh, they were related names.
Merp.
Yeah.
Big Merp, and he couldn't remember, Lazy Merp or something.
Yeah, which is kind of like a riff on you never remember, Sleepy
Merp. That's what it was. Yeah. So he was caught up in this, and Rutherford says, okay, well, I'm going to the party, and you stay here and do whatever. When Shax comes in and says, I think you might be ready for the program, which sounds ominous, but he takes them to, what was it, a holodeck? Where did they go?
No, they just went to a room, and in the room you had a bunch of security people, and they were doing slam poetry.
Yeah, and charades.
Well, charades was afterwards. They did charades,
and Boimler's just not getting into it. And Shax says, "You're slaying the Starfleet charades because, what's his name was doing the." He's pointing to a bucket and whatnot. And
Toto from
Deep Space Nine.
Oh, yeah.
That's priceless. On that part, I was laughing at pretty good.
So Boimler figures it's a test. It's a test. And did he win? And he's like, it's not a test. And so, but Shax says, yeah, fine. Great. You won.
Yeah. After Boimler's he's climbing all over him, trying to put him in a headlock, which is having absolutely no effect.
He just kind of picks him up by the collar and puts him down. So then he gives him the box. The box has 2 things in it. It has tarot cards and a
Enterprise jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, jigsaw puzzle.
He goes, that's not a choice. He chose both.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
And we're trying to figure out what the heck does this have to do with anything else that's going on in this story?
Part of the ritual. He said, right. But they're just
Hey,
kind of doing their
I-
own thing and relaxing until Red Alert is sounded.
hey, by the way, this whole little side storyline, this is you know how like on TNG, well, any of the Star Trek series, they'd always have an episode that focused on one or two or three of these characters, one or two or three of these characters. But it's almost in Lower Decks, every episode they're doing something with all of the characters, whether
Mhm.
they're all together or they all got like A and B plots. So they're always doing something. So it doesn't make surprise me that they're doing something with Boimler and Shax and the whole thing.
Right.
So
And we don't get to see, I mean, we get to see the 4, I guess at this point, kind of the 5. Talin seems to have slithered in. She's always on some mission with one of them, but we always see them. Freeman, Shax, Ransom will get every once in a while. Miglimu will get very little of, and Dr. Tiana will get some of. So this one seems to have everybody at least was in it doing something,
right?
Because we find out that Dr. Tiana has gone off the deep end.
She's chasing her tail in one scene.
She's clawing at the door, trying to get inside where the 3 beta Zoids are.
Right.
Because she can just
even refers to them as Zoids at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And she goes to attack Shax, who's just like holding her and she's clawing at him.
Is Dr. Tiana going to be okay? Yeah, I give her some warm milk. She'll just sleep it off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's funny.
But they make their way to the bridge eventually. And then we find out what all that other stuff was about. It all becomes clear because they are just, unlike the bridge crew who couldn't do anything to stop the Beta Zoid trio, security just kicks their butt.
They quickly secured the area.
And the one woman who's just moving around dodging the Beta Zoid, she says, I can't read your mind. How come? And it's all the slam poetry. It's
so it gets in your soul.
So we find out that all this stuff is like exercises that they do in their spare time that are like really like mental.
So see, Chuck, there is a reason why they're doing this.
Yeah. So see, slam poetry. Well, the idea is that they're not just spending all their time doing target practice, which is, Shax is essentially says that to Boimler. That's not all that we do. It's also about everybody's mental health. And for them, some of this downtime is like, look, let's not talk about anything about phasers and practice. Let's just do something that expands ourselves. So we'll do some slam poetry.
I mean, Worf meditated, right?
Right.
When they get called up to the bridge and they're grabbing their weapons and Boimler's going, phasers, big phasers.
Big phasers.
Yeah, phasers, bigger phasers.
Very technical boy.
They're grabbing the phaser rifles and he just calls them big phasers.
But all this is weird because it turns out that even though the 3 Betazoids were agents posing as diplomats, and everybody thought that they were responsible for all the stuff going on the ship, they were not responsible for it.
Well, was the last time you saw that happen? Lwaxana Troi,
right?
Had that, I'll say the fever.
Well, I actually like the way they twisted this one because you thought it was the Beta Zeds.
Well, I'm sorry. They even showed a close up of their face, and they got like a little bit of wrinkles and stuff, and like the women of a certain age, like Beta Zeds,
as Freeman says.
Yeah,
we're not old enough to have
how dare you,
Xanthi fever,
right?
But it turns out it was Talin, and she was having this internal rage about not being able to send the message, which actually was amplified because she's got Bendy syndrome, which we haven't heard about since Spock. She's locked in a closet with Mariner, and and
she gets Mariner to calm down by giving her a state of calm.
Yeah,
and I was trying.
Calm is good.
I was trying to remember when she got kicked off the other ship.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this had something to do with that. Because remember, weren't they saying that she had an attitude or?
Well, I mean, yeah, they considered it an attitude and
An emotional outburst. Yeah.
because she did something irrational to
Mhm.
save them, and so they well, that's like you're being really like way over the top here. It's like really, it's kind of like that scene in Strange New Worlds where Spock is talking with the other Vulcan and Mbenga saying they hate each other. Can't you tell by looking at them?
Yeah.
There's
Right.
like, so there's no difference in how they're behaving, but they view T'Lyn as like off the rails, completely, gone off the deep end.
Right.
Mariner says, "You're as Vulcan as a mother." Beep. Or-
Yeah, lots of
and
beeps in that
T'Lyn,
scene.
T'Lyn repeats it back. She goes, "I am as Vulcan as a mother." Beep.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, they make it up to the bridge, explain everything, calm them
Right.
down.
She's able to come to grips with her feelings about it, and she decides,
Everybody just wakes up, basically.
yeah, another awkward waking up among this group. I mean, they've already had themselves combined into like a giant meatball,
Yeah.
and now they've had this stuff going on because some of that stuff going on, on the ship was like, I don't know if it's gonna forget that thing. I don't know.
I did spot something, an opportunity earlier in the show when they were showing these three women around the ship. And one of them puts on a hat that says, "It's Romulan ale o'clock somewhere."
Yeah.
I will
did see
put
that.
money. I will bet real cash that somebody on the Star Trek cruise will have one of those hats.
It needs to have two holders for Romulan ale on the sides.
Probably me.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Sticker Mule to send me a hat offer.
Yeah. Actually, you know what it reminded me of is the Naked Time. Everybody's
Oh,
Definitely.
or the Naked Now.
yeah.
So they're able to avoid going through the neutral zone at the very, very last second.
They get up right up to the flashing beacons, and as they turn around, there's a Romulan ship declerk goes, "Oh," they're all disappointed.
What do you expect was going to happen?
They've just been lurking there. Never mind. Proceed to Sector 87. We'll lurk over there for a while.
Yeah, we'll lurk. That's funny.
Just like they like to lurk. And we got another piece of the puzzle, although I don't know if it's a piece.
They just
Information
gave a
is being
message.
shared.
Yeah, they just shared a message, and that's what leads me to believe that we're getting to the point where the Cerritos is going to encounter that mystery ship.
It's more a picture than anything.
Yeah, because no one recognizes that they don't recognize what it is. Obviously, Freeman doesn't recognize what it is. We don't recognize what it is. I still contest though that I still believe, I could be wrong, but I still believe that T'Lyn's ship is going to get attacked by this thing. I just have that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Because we haven't had Vulcans attacked yet.
Yes, we have.
Have we?
No, I thought
I don't think
we
so.
had Klingons, we had
Romulans.
We had Orions.
Orions. I thought the Vulcans were in there. I could be wrong. Okay,
I could be wrong as well, but I'm pretty sure that because I've been expecting it to be T'Lyn's ship, and we'll see.
We're only 5 shows in. We can't keep it straight yet.
That's right. So many attacks. Well, the problem is that all the attacks follow exactly the same pattern.
Right.
Right. It's a lower deckers to the bridge. Systems go out. Dead. Or I shouldn't say dead. I should say that we know that the ships are gone, but we don't really know what happened.
Oh, you think
there's
there's a transporter involved in there?
I don't know.
Although the one with the
Like a V'ger thing where they stored away.
Yeah, the Orions look like they clearly got blown away. They were sort of vaporized and smeared off the screen.
Well,
They
we
were
all
pretty
seem to
detrimental
have that
to you.
debris all over the place afterwards.
Yeah,
Right.
remember there was an explosion.
There's an explosion, but this one they actually showed like the people
the
getting.
Klingons had pieces.
I
and they're
realized that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they all showed wreckage of the ship except the Orions, which they showed people getting smeared off the screen. Anyway, we have 2 more main missions.
Yes, we
because
do.
We have 2 more very short treks.
Wait. We got to rate this one.
That's right. We do.
Oh, we got to rate this one.
Yeah.
All
You're
right,
getting ahead of
so-
yourself.
What
We
are we rating it on?
will
Yard glasses?
Yard glasses.
Big phasers.
Yeah, big phasers.
Beta Z women of a certain age.
That's confusing because it's three of
Zoids.
those. Zoids.
No, Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
No, we're not going to read that book title again. No, no,
hats with catchy phrases.
No.
Right.
Okay, tarot cards.
Tarot cards. There it is. Tarot cards.
Right,
1 to 10 tarot cards.
Logical thing to use is tarot cards.
What was the card he drew? He said something. It's like it's the Invader card.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And surprising.
Okay.
I went last time, so I think I have to go first this time, right?
Okay, we're gonna do it backwards. Okay, yeah.
1 to 10 tarot cards.
Yes.
I'm going to give this one an 8, a little bit lower. It had funny parts, a little confusing of what those 3 women were up to. It was a good twist, how they made you think it was Xanthi fever and then turned it into Bandy syndrome. So I thought, the story as a whole went well. They totally had us scratching our head on what security is doing when they're not doing security. But turned that around pretty well at the end. So it was 8, mostly good. Still a couple of like, whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I'm up next. I'm going to also give it an 8. Not a bad episode. I liked it. I didn't think it was, the top of their game, but I felt like everybody got a chance to do something. As we talked about, we saw pretty much everybody that's a regular. I think we even saw Jennifer at some point in it, and everyone was in there for this one, which might be a bit of a downside to trying to have the cohesive plot, like Chuck was talking about, where you've got a lot of moving parts going on in there. And sometimes it seems like, did we need to spend that much time on the slam poetry? But
yeah, right.
maybe we did. So I'm going to give it an 8.
All right, and I think we're all in agreement because I'm also going to give it an 8. I liked it enough, but I didn't like it I didn't think it was as strong as the last one. And a lot of that had to do with they kept you guessing a little too long, like you said about the 3 diplomats. I'm like, what are they doing? What's going on here? And they weren't giving you anything.
No, even when they resolved it, you never really figured out what they were up to.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'm clear now. So
no.
Yeah. So I totally give it an 8 because there was some stuff I enjoyed in it, but I thought it was funny, but wasn't as strong as the last ones.
Okay. All right, let's move on to our third main mission with an appropriate sound effect. Yeah, find one for this.
Yeah.
All right, and Craig, you get the honors here.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, so we're delving into the very short treks, and this one is Worst Contact, written by.
I couldn't find it. Wasn't on Memory Alpha.
Okay,
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, and it was directed by Aaron Hawkins, and the plot synopsis is, if you want to say that, is first contacts, like first dates, can be awkward.
Yeah, and I will just say that I'm usually have images from the episode. Well, there's your image from this episode. That's as far as I'm going with this one.
Well, look what color the planet is.
I know.
I was going to say, after the fact, it kind of makes sense.
Hence 47 Shades of Green once again.
Planet
Border
6.
Anybody want to talk about this episode? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
All right. It starts out with Riker and Crusher at the Enterprise D, and they're going down to make first contact on a planet because these people had just created a warp field on the planet.
It's like,
enough.
It's one of those moments where they go, "Yay, we just created something else." Whoa, there's people here now.
It's like, whoa, gee, what?
Were they hanging around waiting for us to do this?
we were always wondering if there were other people out there. So welcome. We're part of a federation of planets, and we want to welcome you to. They didn't really welcome them to the Federation. They just were like, we're here to let you know that there's other people out there.
Right, because you don't get into the Federation automatically.
And during this speech, and I love the character voices on these. Whoever did the voice acting on the part of the alien species made it sound like it was right out of 1972. I mean,
Yeah. I
Oh,
think so.
thank you for your we
That
were
acting style.
other people. It was really bad, but it was so bad it was good. And then he picks his nose, and Crusher's like, "Did you just pick your nose?" And then
Hey,
tries
when
to
their
shake
hands-
hands with Riker. Oh yes, picking our noses is a sign of respect, and it's part of our culture. And then they look around, the
I'm
walls.
so sorry, listeners. I'm so sorry.
It gets
Yeah.
worse. The walls are covered with boogers, and then the Riker and Crusher as this is sliding, no pun intended, sliding downhill. They're looking at each other going, maybe we shouldn't have have them as part of the Federation. Not every species is a good addition.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't call us, we'll call you.
we would be happy. We can. They come up with this stinky, smelly fish and go, "We would be happy to have smelly fish in your break room all the time."
Yes,
Yeah.
microwave it. Yeah,
Microwave the
it.
smelly fish. Yeah, and they were just picking common tropes of things that people find abhorrent, and it was working. So what did Riker do as a distraction?
He blew up the warp.
Look, it's a Gorn invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Boom.
What's a Gort?
Yeah.
And while
never
they're
mind
just
that.
trying to figure out, he blows up their warp engine.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We'll have to come back later.
Yeah. You've been disqualified.
So it was full of 12-year-old humor.
Oh my goodness. And yes. So my biggest problem with this episode actually was what you described, but the second biggest problem I had with it is that it was the third go around where we had joke, and actually in this next one we're going to revisit this again, but it has joke and then just riff on the joke, riff on the joke, riff on the joke, riff on the joke,
Yeah.
riff on the joke, riff on the joke.
It's like they're
There's
trying to elevate it, but it's not quite.
There's zero plot. It's just riff on the joke, riff on the joke, riff on the joke, riff on the joke,
Right.
riff on the
The
joke.
same thing with the what was the first one with Skin the Cat?
Right. Skin the Cat. And the second one, which was the holiday party where
Blooper.
Spock is showing all the bloopers, just okay. Again. And I realized that they only have like the whole thing is 4 minutes long, including the end credits. So they've got
This one was 2.
that was
It
No, I'm
felt
sorry.
longer.
I'm sorry. The current one. I'm sorry.
but it just I felt like you could do something different with any of them. And then by the time you get to this one, was the third one.
They're developing a pattern, and they need to go somewhere else.
Right. So, and the thing is that this is the only episode that I just would not recommend to anyone of any. I wouldn't. I just plain old wouldn't. The other ones I would be like, there's a bit of gore in one of them, but yeah, it's overall it's kind of interesting, and like the first one, but this one's like no.
Actually, I thought it was a waste of the voice cast. You got Frakes and Gates together. I'm like, okay, this ought to be good. Oh, come on. Hey, that was the twist of the whole story. It was come on.
And I like, the headlines from reviews online with things like, it was a thing.
Yeah, it was.
That was quite a thing.
Actually, I was kind of excited at first when I saw, okay, we got a TNG centric very short track. I saw just like you got the screenshot here with the Enterprise. I went, this ought to be good. No.
Nope.
And the two actors were Dana Snyder and Sarah Sherman were the two aliens in that episode. All right.
Let's see what kind of acting gigs they get now.
Yeah. So they're not putting this on their reel, I'm assuming.
Your resume. Yeah.
All right. We're going to go back the other direction. So
Are we rating it?
we are. We rate them all.
Gee, how obvious is this? What are we rating it on?
I'm abstaining.
First Contacts.
Gorn invasions. Anything but boogers.
I was saying. Was it me? Is it
It's
me?
you. It's you.
I'm gonna give this 3.
Wow.
Amazing. All right. No.
Only because I had Frakes and Gates
Okay.
in it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
All right.
I mean, to be honest with you, I like the concept that it's an awkward first contact, but it just they didn't play it right. It just didn't obviously
They
appeal to me.
could have gone, with something equally
They
repulsive.
go down and the
Yeah.
aliens are obsessed with flatulence. I don't know.
No, that would have been equally as bad. That
I
still
know.
would have worn the path.
Very
through
Short Trek
perfectly.
season 2. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah,
That
this
would
didn't
have,
appeal
they
to
would
me.
have called that one second worst contact. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm up next. I'm rating it a 1.
A 1, okay.
Just
I-
bad.
I've never before, in all the time I've watched Star Trek, have ever said I would not recommend anyone watch an episode. You know, it's like
That's
this
it.
is the first one ever that it just it's just no. And like I said, it's not that I have a problem with the format. It's not that I have a problem with like it being over the edge because I like the first two. There's just nothing. There's nothing redeeming about it at all. I just didn't like it. Period.
Not
Yeah.
even to an 8-year-old boy.
No,
Not even to 8-year-old Clinton.
no.
Not even 8-year-old Craig. Oh wait,
Well, yeah.
All right. What about you, Chuck?
I'm right there with you, man. It's down in this. Well, it's down below the 3. It just no. I'm not even going to dignify it with a rating.
And the thing is that I'll tell you one of the other reasons I rated a 1 is because when you think about the progression, the first Very Short Trek did not really have any gore or any of that kind of stuff in it. Then you had gore in the second one. Then this one, you go to this, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I even want to watch the next one. That's really is
Right. It's getting
Right.
worse.
Well, wait a minute. You say gore, but it's like filmation type gore.
Well, you
His
literally had
intestines were hanging
body
out
parts
on the
spread out on
transporter
the
pad.
transporter pad. I mean,
yeah,
that's
It is funny because he used to have legs.
yes, indeed. So see, I mean, but even that, like I said,
Funny.
I laughed at that. This nothing. So fortunately, we have one more Very Short Trek to talk
Now
about.
I know why you made me narrate that one. It would have
Exactly.
had no narration otherwise.
I just would have been
Yeah.
silence. All right. And Chuck, why don't you tell us about our last main mission?
Main mission 4, again, Very Short Trek. This one's called Holograms All the Way Down. Written by Aaron J. Weltke and directed by, again, Aaron Hawkins.
And if Aaron J. Welke sounds familiar, he's one of the people that works on Prodigy.
Aha, ha, ha. Okay, this one spans pretty much every universe. I wasn't actually ticking boxes, but
Except for
I think it's
DS9.
if you say because Frakes is in it, Riker's in it, that covers you on Picard, I think it's everything.
yeah, I mean they even broke the fourth wall of Filmation characteristics by putting in actual CG for the Prodigy characters.
It wasn't CG. That was
there was
like
cutouts. They were just they didn't move.
It was
They
like
just,
a Monty
didn't
Python.
move.
It
Oh,
was like a Terry
okay,
Gilliam.
They
It was
were
like a
just-
Terry Gilliam. I cut this out of a magazine.
Yep.
I gotta watch that again. Okay, you
No,
got
which
me on
which
that
to me
one.
was like, which to me would be a classic what Filmation would do. It's like if you might have the mouth move or something like that, but that's
Yeah.
it's like okay.
Well, they had
I can see
Murph.
that.
Murph did have an animated eye, but it was
kinda
like a cutout.
kind of like squinted or something. It's
Yeah.
kind of-
It starts out with a battle scene from Enterprise, and you see Tucker, narrate or giving commands or something, and then
and
all
he
of a
just
sudden,
can't win. He gets killed.
computer freeze
Oh, wait a minute.
program.
Wait. Tucker was like, "Hey, we got that treaty signed. Everything's cool. It's gonna be.
Peachy Keen, everything's just wonderful.
It's gonna
And
be
you-
great here on out."
And you have other people on the bridge. Merriweather's on the bridge, and DePaul's on the bridge, and so
Hey, by the way, you can point out the irony of Riker watching that on the holodeck because that's what happened.
well, I think that's what they're referencing in that
Yeah.
first one. That's just I know where this is going kind of reference.
Yeah,
to
right.
Start you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he says computer freeze program. it freezes, and then you've got Deanna and Riker, and but they're walking off the holodeck, and you get somebody else that says computer freeze program, and it's just this replay over and over of
Right, because you've got Quark, and he's talking to Garrick about how to use holograms, see how perfect they are, so you can use these to fake information, and then that gets frozen.
Yeah.
And Tendy's then saying, "Oh, that's how we got the Romulans into the war. Oh, it's much better than what is she said. She says then Boimler's Kirk and Gorn as more than friends, something as fan fiction." And he spits. He does a spit take on that one, and that freezes because the Prodigy cast comes out. I thought this would be much more educational. That freezes. And I love this is called In the Weeds. Everyone else is saying computer freeze program.
Yeah. All right.
When you get to Sulu, he says computer
and
rec room.
Oh, and rec room. That's right.
Because the holodeck first appeared in the animated series as a rec room.
Right.
So he doesn't say
that's a good catch. I didn't even pay attention to that. Right.
So then
it's voiced by George.
Right. Everybody's
voiced
voiced
by old George. So, Sulu.
His voice is very deep.
But sounds very old. Yeah.
Which I think is why they tried to make him very, very angry, because your voice will get. Because he says, and he makes reference to another episode of the animated series, the Practical Joker.
Right.
Right. So he says it's Practical Joker all over again. That gets frozen by Saru, who immediately gets frozen by Hemmer.
Oh, he's still wearing his red outfit.
Well, they've only got the cells for one outfit. He's only going to have that one outfit.
Brilliant.
Hey, also, I'm thinking Hemmer's actually getting more airtime after he died.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Which is then they cut to Neelix like, that's enough of this silly book.
Right.
He goes to sleep, and you hear Tucker again saying end program.
Yeah.
And
then the computer says to itself, computer and program, like, what? You are the computer.
Who are you talking to?
They're all lined up
in
this meatball again. You got this multi-headed Riker.
They're all in a uniform. Yeah.
It's like 4 heads coming out of one body. Go, what are we looking at here? This has gone off the deep end. So this one was kind of creative.
Because again, it is the riff, right? The same joke again, but they made it interesting.
Yeah,
very Inception like.
Yeah, because there's a lot of holodeck tropes that you can pick on throughout this whole thing. So yeah, this is great. I didn't even think about the rec room thing until you just mentioned that.
And it's great because that way you can kind of have Star Trek and Star Trek the Animated Series kind of in there, because you've got that scene. So yeah, again, I think as I go through it, I think, well, let's see. Do we have Strange New Worlds in there though?
No.
Yeah, Hemmer.
Oh, right. Hemmer's in there, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yes.
So you've got, I have that list, but yeah, pretty much sure everything is in there.
Well, I forgot
Voyager?
about.
Oh yeah, Neelix was from Voyager.
I started to say they missed DS9, but I forgot Quark was in there.
Quark,
right? Garrick. Yep.
Yeah, you didn't have him on the screenshot, but yeah, Quark was in there.
Yeah, he's
lower left.
No, he's not in the screenshot.
Oh, there he is in the background.
And Derek is in the top middle.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
with the root beer float,
and the fact that you had all original actors all the way back to the animated series, which is supposed to be like a celebration of in this thing. It's like everybody was who they were supposed to be,
And I love how they actually showed more characters than they voiced, obviously.
Right.
Because they had George, but they showed Nichelle also, or Uhura.
Right.
They would
they showed Deanna, but
she never said anything. They showed a number of the people on the Enterprise crew, but all you ever heard was Connor Trenier. So
I Garrick and so forth. But
yeah.
Troy didn't say anything. Riker said
no, he had all the
to
lines. Yeah, he was talking to her, but she never responded.
Yeah.
And Garrick never says anything when Quark is talking to him.
He's drinking the root beer float.
He is. It's
All right. Shall we rate them?
We shall rate them.
Who's up first?
I guess that bouncing back. So it's you first, Chuck.
What are we rating them on?
How about root beer floats?
The root beer float sounds good to me. That's a good way to
Yeah.
end it. I'm going to give this one 8 root beer floats. I thought it was very creative.
Mhm.
You're right. They're on a pattern of let's find something and riff on it and again and again and again. So I'd like to see that pattern broken so that it's got a little more of a story to it. You can still have humor without staying on the same horse and whipping it over and over and over again. Wow, that was a
unlike our own podcast.
That's right. But
hey.
that's a story for another day.
We worked hard to make this funny.
Yeah.
Stupid writer strike.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
8 root beer floats for me.
Okay, I'm going with 9 root beer floats. I thought that this accomplished what I thought a celebration of 50 years since the inception of Star Trek, the animated series,
Good point.
would entail.
Mhm.
And this one uses the look, just like they're all doing, uses the look of the animated series, but also incorporates the animated series and incorporates everything else into it, you know, in the space of a very short amount of time. And some of the people only have, like Saru's got, you know, a split second that he's on the screen,
Yeah.
but it's a little bit of everything. And I felt like if you're going to do something creative like this, unlike the last episode, do something creative like this with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know
And
how
I
many more of these we're going to get?
think we're only getting one more. I thought there were
Yeah.
5.
I think
Okay.
there's one more. I think there's one more in the bucket. I'm giving this one also a 9 for a lot of the same reasons that Clinton said. I love that they stick to the animation style, and you get all these characters reimagined as Filmation styled characters. I think they nailed it on this one, and the story was interesting for a 2-minute cartoon.
Mhm.
They crammed a lot in there and a lot of jokes right after another. This was exceptional out of all of them, and I did enjoy the one, even though it had a little bit of gore in the other one, but I don't think it's cartoon gore,
Yeah.
Filmation gore.
Filmation gore. No, it was a Filmation gore. All the internal body parts would just be pink.
Yeah,
Just
I
one
love how
shade of pink.
I love how the image in the lower right looks like Neelix is reading or watching our podcast or something because the logo's right there.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Well, maybe he is.
yeah.
Maybe he is.
He might
Speaking
be.
of pink Borg, did we not see that? Well, I watched something. Maybe it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was not a very short Trek.
It was
on
the Barbie
same-
movie.
No. There is another one on the Star Trek channel that is a Filmation version of when Picard gets abducted as Locutus.
No,
They
that's not. That's the
It's
one
not
done by the
Barbie.
guy that did the
Oh, that's somebody
Oh,
that
was
that's like it was a fan film.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
We
He
had
had
I
He's the
think
one that
we
also
talked
did
about it.
he did the Voyager one as well.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're right. I thought it was.
But
on
yes,
there.
he was using a lot of those same Filmation tropes of having the colors be all
The colors
wrong
were-
and
right. Yeah. The Borg were kind of
Right.
purple uniform instead of black, and the cube was sort of pinkish.
Now I don't have it at hand, and I can't remember who the name. I want to say Chad something, but I don't think that's right. But he did a he did a bunch of these Filmation type styles like that. It was fan made, and I looked at his channel. There's a bunch of them. It just one of them happened to surface. I watched it, and it was about Spock's logical outlook on life or something like that. And you would see one of the characters say something, and Spock would always come up, "No, actually," and he would go in this long.
I've seen I've seen yeah.
He went in this long explanation diatribe about why it's like this, and he just walks off, and
That's
that's the end
awesome.
of the story.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
there've been other stuff as well. I think Starship Farragut did an episode in the style of the animated series as well. So definitely it's something that people have a lot of fun with, because let's face it, you can be a little wrong and it's okay. Because even if you're wrong, people think you did that on purpose.
Wrong. Oh,
'Cause-
the animation and stuff.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, yeah.
jump cut or something's not quite right into the shot or something. Well, it's Filmation. It's an homage to Filmation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we love it so. We love it so.
Are
All
we
right.
at the end?
We are at the end.
Do we have to
The
fill the
end?
dilithium chamber again?
We do. We do. I think I've got some here. I know that they solved that whole problem with the burn, I think. And
It
yeah,
doesn't happen for like another 750 years. We're good.
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, you can find me, Clinton, at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4. I'm in the middle of my big story for 2023 called Big Shot. Big story
Yes.
called Big Shot. And you can catch episodes of that. Just go to comedyforecast.com/2023 if you want to start from the beginning.
Big
Okay.
shot is a little larger than bird shot, but smaller than buckshot.
Hmm.
Or is a big shot what you have thrown in your coffee?
Questions. So many questions. And here's one who speaks for you guys.
It's certainly not me. I'm full of dumb ideas tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Greg.
you can find Chuck and myself. At
No,
the
it's me and Chuck.
me
If you're
and
going to
Chuck.
massacre the language, you'll eventually get to the right answer.
Chuck and myself.
No, me and Chuck.
I know. Whatever. Who cares?
Those
Primarily-
guys. You can
I'm-
find those guys.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
Minion Fogarty call you up and beat you over the head with her book.
Okay.
Okay.
It can be worse things. Anyway, you can find Chuck and myself, or me and Chuck, or
Wow.
whatever. However you want. Over
Throw
at
it
the
up
Techno-
over here.
Let me finish.
I should
we
have
can-
gone first.
You can find us at the Technorama Podcast. Just search Technorama Podcast in Google, and you should be able to find us and it's on from YouTube to our website and everything. So
Well
All
said.
right.
All right. Time to hit the theme, boys.
This one.
If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on the site formerly known as Twitter, visit our Facebook page, or visit thetopicistrek.com. Until next time, on behalf of me and Chuck, and I and Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek, don't put on the red shirt.
shirt. Myself,
Yeah, and I.
Me.
Yeah.
me, myself, and I.
Nice recovery at the end there, Clinton.
Oh,
I was trying to wait. I was waiting to see if you were going to say something, and I was going to say something if you weren't.
We are
Okay.
done.
We are done. That one was an hour and 28.
We're getting better.
The last one was 2 hours.
And next time around we'll only have 3. Assuming we record in 2 weeks. We'll only have 3 things to talk about.
2 weeks should be good.
Oh, we're gonna do business, so we're gonna wave goodbye to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ending stream now.